friends. Welcome back to At Laura's Table. Today, things may look a little different because things are different for all of us right now. I wanted to let you know what's going on over in Facebook land. If you don't happen to follow me over there, or if you don't have a page, we're doing some fun live videos because we're all stuck at home and it's a way we can connect. But just in case you're not there, I wanted to do the same recipe for you that we're doing over there so that you could share in the fun and the good food. Today, we're gonna work on a Beefy Mac. It's not a good explanation of what we're actually making, but it's what my children have come to love. It's really like a cheesy chili macaroni that has ground beef, a homemade cheese sauce, which is what we're actually going to learn about today because you don't need me to show you how to brown ground beef. You probably already have that down. But in this time when we're locked in our houses, spending lots of time with our family, we want to utilize some basic ingredients we probably already have at home, like a small pasta like elbow macaroni or some other small pasta, ground beef, all-purpose flour, butter, cheddar cheese, milk, some onion if you have any onions left, and a few spices. It's very simple ingredients. Now I'm going to pause you guys while I brown the ground beef because you don't need to see all that. And when we come back, I'm going to show you how to make a homemade cheese sauce that you can use for this recipe and many others. I hope to see you soon. So I got my ground beef browned, not anything extraordinary, and I'm adding my onions and garlic, and my pasta is almost done cooking. So this comes together really quick. I'm doing these 2 steps ahead of time. You can do this all at one time. It's however you like to do it. That's the timer for my pasta. Let me pour that out. All right, so my pan is hot enough. We are going to make a bechamel sauce. It is with basic ingredients that I hope you were able to find in your grocery store before you got locked in, shut in, however you want to call it. Ooh, I'm flicking butter on my t-shirt. I hope you guys got to see my t-shirt. I'll show you again at the end when I'm tasting. I'm going super casual today because we're shut in. That's why you see ingredients all over my house. But my t-shirt has a dog on it, just like one of my little dogs, and it was a Christmas gift. Anyway, so you melt your butter and you use equal parts of butter and all-purpose flour, and you want to keep this moving because you do not want this to burn on the bottom. And of course this is like a light roux basically. When we talk about all our Cajun, you're going to do a roux like for a gumbo, you're going to use another type of fat like a canola oil or some kind of vegetable oil so that you can have it at a higher temperature. But for this bechamel, I use butter and flour equal parts. And these lumps will go away in just a minute. But you'll see me use a flat-ended spoon a lot because it allows me to scrape the bottom of this pan and make sure nothing sticks. So you want to cook that raw flour taste out of this. So you just keep it moving for a few minutes. Now, if you've read on my blog any, which doesn't, it's fine if you didn't, I taught myself all of this, and I will tell you that this process right here made me cry more times in my kitchen than I care to admit, because I didn't know what I was doing. And that's why I want to show you guys how simple it is, and try not to get frustrated, because honestly, when you add the milk, it's going to look like you're making biscuits and that you just made biscuit dough, and you're going to do like I did, and you're going to, you might not cry, but you'll get super frustrated and you'll throw it in the garbage, and it's actually not messed up. So you're going to think, why is she just jabbering and stirring and wasting my time? But that's probably plenty of time to stir that. It's actually changed color just a little bit, which is fine too. But when you add this milk slowly, which we're gonna do this with a whisk, and if you never cook, but now you have to because you're stuck at home and you don't have a whisk, find this little beater attachment from your hand mixer, which maybe you don't use that either, and use it. But I want you to watch what happens when I add this milk. At first it seems fine, and you don't add it all at once. Oop, I just poured that in the floor. See, we really are cooking here. This one I need my dogs to come in here. But I want you to watch how this kind of seizes up. See that? Now right here is where I started crying and thought I had messed it up and went and poured it in the garbage can. But just like Dory, instead of just keep swimming, just keep whisking, okay? It will loosen up if you just keep on, I promise, all right? Now you can make anything you want out of this bechamel sauce, any kind of sauce. You can make a sauce for steak, you can make a sauce for broccoli if your kids won't eat it, anything you want. I'm sorry that keeps getting in your shot, but I don't want any more of it on my floor because I'm gonna have to wash my cabinets when we get done with this little. But see, it keeps seizing up. Part of it's because my milk's cold, but it's okay. It will loosen back up. You just keep whisking, and you can use that little whisk attachment from your mixer. We're making do here, people, but at the same time, it's gonna be so delicious. Just take your time. And here in a minute, it is not going to be a lumpy mess. I promise. And that workout you missed from the gym, you're getting with your arm right here. See how that's starting to smooth out? Don't lose faith. We'll pour some more milk in here. Probably gonna pour the rest of it so I don't keep making a mess. Make sure you scrape that off the sides. Now I started with 3 cups of milk. Hopefully that'll be enough. But when this comes up to temp, this is going to thicken enough where it'll coat the back of our spoon. And we have our basic bechamel. And you can add any kind of cheese you want to this. For this recipe, I like to use a medium cheddar. I realize that we're avoiding the grocery store, so we're going to use whatever cheese we have at home. I think a sharp is a little bit more oily, and it has a tendency to get kind of grainy. But listen, people, I want you to use what you have. If you had to add 3 or 4 different kinds of cheeses to get to your 2 cups, use whatever. It's fine. I'm going to let that come up to temp just a little bit. I'll stir it in just a second. All right. This is getting hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. Now I just have this over a medium heat because you don't want this to scorch. But I want you to see what I mean, how this will coat a spoon. See that? Now we're going to start adding our cheese and our spices to this. I'm going to have to turn this down just a little bit because this is, see how that is getting the flour on the bottom of the pan? You got to keep this moving. Give me just a second. It'd be bad if I burned it on video, wouldn't it? At least you know we really cook here. And we're not perfect. So I'm going to add some of my spices. If you have dry mustard, add a ½ teaspoon of dry mustard and see how specific I get, people. I just use the teaspoon. I don't have to wash another spoon. Dry mustard makes cheese sauce taste more cheesy. If you don't have it, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I love it and it's there. I mean, at this point, grab your mustard out of the refrigerator that you put on your hot dogs and put a squirt in here, because we're just cooking. It's fine. It's really not a big deal. Give that a whisk. We're going to add some of our chili powder. We're going to go ahead and add a tablespoon, and then we'll see how we do after that. And you're going, what in the world did you just do to that pretty white sauce? And then we're going to add a teaspoon of cumin. That smells good. We're going to whisk this, and we're going to start adding our cheese sauce. Your kids, college kids, little kids, doesn't matter which kids, are going to love this dish. And they're going to ask you to make it all the time. But putting this in here where these spices can get happy and wake up in that sauce is so good. So get them in there early. Now let's see if I can keep my whisk from falling down in there. All right, add a couple of dollops of your cheese. Let's get to whisking that in there. Add the rest of that. This is 2 cups of grated medium cheddar. Like I said, use what you have, because we're trying to use what's in our refrigerator. I didn't add any salt to this because I had salted the water in my pasta. I used salted butter. If you didn't use salted butter, you can add some. Just a little bit. I am going to add some black pepper, not a ton, but I am going to get a spoon and taste this sauce to see if we need more chili powder, because of course the pasta needs a lot of flavor because it tastes like salt, but that's about it. That could use a little more chili powder. So let's put another ½ tablespoon, which I realize that's not really a measurement, but when you're using your spoons you already have out, it is. So let's do another ½ tablespoon. And that sauce is not salty at all. Let me taste these noodles and see. Or not. That sauce could use a pinch of salt. All right, I'm gonna put this all together and you'll see what it looks like, okay? I'm gonna move this so you can see when I get it all together. I'm gonna add my noodles. Let me see if I can keep from dumping them in the floor. But I add this all back to this cheese sauce pot. See how that coats those noodles? And then I'm going to take my beef mixture, which is ground beef, onions, and garlic. Add that. And you have dinner or lunch or if you double this and use a great big pot, you have leftovers. And this is something your children, husband, whoever happens to be cooped up in your house with you will love. It's a great kid-friendly meal. Let me turn that off. I'm gonna have to get a mitten for this because that little short handle has a tendency to get hot. Let's see if this will, yep, it will. There we go. Hope you can see around my arm. So see how simple that was? Use ingredients that hopefully you have in your pantry and your refrigerator. Hopefully you were able to get some ground beef. But this actually makes a lot of food. And it's comfort food. It's raining here today. I don't know if it's raining where you are, but this will make a lovely lunch here in just a minute. So I'm going to show you this and we're going to taste it. All right, so it's time to taste. I hope that that bechamel demonstration was helpful to you. In case you weren't on Facebook Live, I wanted you to be able to see that. Maybe you can go over there and join in with us. We'll probably be doing some of those as long as we're all kind of sequestered to our homes. So this is what my kids lovingly refer to as Beefy Mac, which is really kind of a chili cheddar cheese macaroni dish that is comfort food at its finest. So it's exactly what they love. This will be a big hit with your kids. As usual, I'm going to post the recipe where you can print it off. You're welcome to join in the future when we do more videos on YouTube or Facebook Live. We just really don't know what all this is going to look like, but I love you guys. I'm going to be praying for your health and the health of your families, and I hope that you find creative ways to use the ingredients that you have in your home. See you soon.